It's giving Kiwi by Harry Styles. Hey, hi, hello, how are you? I'm Pia, and these are all of the books that I want to read in September. August. What? I think I should keep that. Similar to last year, I am actually moving at the end of this month, August. Yes, I do know that for a fact, slash the beginning of next month, which is September. So it is kind of like a race to the finish line. I don't want to obviously be bringing a lot of books with me while I'm moving, although I am moving a lot closer. I can't really pack books with me, so I want to, you know, take the books that I'm going to be reading then, so I want to try to kind of clear off my TBR a little bit. There's a lot of books I have here. I have like little categories too. I feel very organized in this TBR, which I'm not usually. I usually just throw together a list of a bunch of things that I am thinking about reading and might be in the mood for. I have some videos I have planned for some of these books, and I'm very excited to kind of like get back into that swing of things. I did read a lot last month, so I'm anticipating kind of having that same kind of excitement. Was that my dog? Fine, I'm not scared. It's fine. Anyway, first book I have here is the only carryover I have from last month, and that is Rich People Problems. I put this on so many TBRs. I do have the audiobook from my library. I just have not gotten to it. It's like, I thought there were a couple more days in July and there weren't. It's like, I was like, day number 35, like, where are you? This is the third book in the Crazy Rich Asians series, and I would really love to finish it this summer. And I will. Next up, I would like to reread The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss so that I can read Wise Man's Fear, which is the sequel. I'm doing a video. And I really want to read Wise Man's Fear, but I don't. I do remember The Name of the Wind, but I read it like a long time ago, and it is a high fantasy, and I kind of would really like to reread it. I'm not a big reread person, but this is like a high fantasy, like I said. It centers around music, and it's like essentially like this story that's just like told. It's like, it's a really great audiobook. It's just a story about magic, and it's almost like grown-up Harry Potter but with like music. It's kind of the best way I could describe it to you. I'm not a big high fantasy consumer, so I definitely want to make sure that I keep up with the series that I do enjoy. Then I would like to read The Road by Cormac McCarthy. And yes, there is a bookmark in this book. I did start this book for a class I was taking my freshman year. Like, how long have I been in college? I don't know. My freshman year of college, and I stopped about like 100 pages into it because someone spoiled it for me in the class. And I was like, well, thanks. I did, however, write an essay on this, and I think I got a pretty good grade, so there we go. But yeah, just don't spoil things for people in your classes. This is one of my brother's favorite books, and I've always said that I really need to finish it. I did really enjoy reading it. Like, it just never was like the right time to kind of like pick this one up again, since like I basically bought it for a class that I'm obviously no longer taking. This is my third year of college. So, but this is about kind of journey of a father and son through this post-apocalyptic America, and it's very dark and it's very harrowing to read, and I know what happens. That's my like one thing that pisses me off, but I'm really excited to read this and like experience the story for myself. Thank you to that one bitch in my class. And I also would really like to watch the movie because that adaptation actually looks really good. So yes, I'm hoping to get to this one as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to like start from where I left off or like just completely start from the beginning. So we shall see. Along the same vein as The Road, I would also like to read Station 11. I recently read this author's latest book, which was The Sea of Tranquility, and thoroughly enjoyed my time reading that. And I actually did pick up Station 11. I don't know how far I got through it. I was reading it on a plane. World traveler here. I had to force myself to stop reading it because I wanted to read it for a video, and I wasn't doing a video at the time. I'm going to pick it back up. I'm very excited because from what I read, I loved it so much so far. I'm saying it's in the same vein because it is kind of like another like post-apocalyptic story. If you weren't aware, it is about a like post-pandemic world, which is really crazy because it was written a long time ago. Not that long ago. It was written like 10 years ago. Yeah, it's like about theater and found family and stuff like that, so I'm very excited to read that as well. Dive back into it so I can let you know my thoughts. Then I would like to read Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. I have never read a Frederick Bachman, but I've never been like told where to start with him, so I'm going with this one. This, again, I'm going to be reading for a video. I can tell you what it is. Ooh, do I remember what it's about? I don't know, but I think someone has recommended it to me, and that's another reason why I wanted to pick it up, because I do think maybe if I like this book of his, it does have a pretty long backlist that I can pick up, and I have been so enjoying just like normal contemporary fiction. Okay, I just noticed something weird about this book. So I bought this book. I buy pretty much all my books used. There's a bookmark. I didn't notice that. Cannon Beach Book Company in Oregon. That's fun. I love when that happens. Almost every few pages there's like someone dog-eared the page. I'm not a dog-ear person. I'm a bookmark person. Check out my shop. It's interesting that I think usually people, they smooth out their dog ears when they keep going. I mean, now I'm like, ooh, Did that mean they're important? I don't know. I'm excited to find out. And then I'd also like to read A Curious Beginning. This is the first book in the Veronica Speedwell series. I have heard nothing but good things about this series. It's giving me Stalking Jack the Ripper, Truly Devious, those sorts of vibes. And I was so into those books and that kind of young adult mystery kind of vibe. Again, like in the beginning of my booktube journey, and I would really like to kind of like find a series like that I enjoy now. Yeah, I've heard really good things about this. I think that there are there like 7 books in the series right now? Maybe like 6 or 7, I think. But I've heard Katie Coulson talk about them, Olivia reads a latte. I believe even like Books and Lala and and Booked and Busy have enjoyed them. So I have, again, heard nothing but good things. So I'm very excited to try these out and they just seem like a really fun time. I do think that when it comes to fall, if I do really enjoy this first book, I might just binge the whole series because it just feels like the perfect kind of cozy fall vibe. And yes, I know this is an August TBR. I just am always thinking fall. And then another book I'd like to read for a video is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I would love to kind of like delve into this book and like film my reactions and stuff for you guys because I don't know. It took me a long time to read The Goldfinch, and that was a lot to do with like just my life and like what I was reading. I wasn't doing a video on it or anything, like I wasn't prioritizing it for any real reason, so it just got put down. So I have really enjoyed Donna Tartt in the past. I do read a lot of like 1-star reviews though because I think they're like my guilty pleasure of like reading 1-star reviews of like books I either like have read or haven't. I love them. But I do know this is like very pretentious, like about very pretentious characters that are very unlikable. So I'm not too worried about that. I do know that's kind of like Donna Tartt's vibe. She does that very well. I'm not concerned about liking what's going on as long as the plot is intriguing enough. I will have a good time reading it. So we shall see. I'm very excited. I'm so excited about how floppy this paperback is. Guys, I just read a UK paperback and like it hurt. Every time I had to crack that spine, I wanted to cry a little bit because like, why couldn't it just do this? Why was it not made that way? Anyway, this is a pretty long book, so I think I might get the audiobook as well. I haven't really heard anything about the audiobook, so I'm not sure. It might suck. I don't know. Who knows? So I'll probably like read and annotate and film my vlog experience. But I am very excited to read this. I would also like to read The Push. Now, do I know what this is about? No, I never know what it's about. That's the answer. The Push is a psychological drama, whatever that means, about a family and women and motherhood and babies. It's a tour de force. So if anyone speaks French, let me know what that means. Maybe I'll try to read like a thriller a month. I'm having a lot of difficulty with speaking, apparently. I'm having a lot of difficulty with the thrillers that I'm reading. They're so hit and miss. It's like actually unbelievable. Like there are so few that I have really been surprised and like excited to be reading. I just find them so predictable and boring most of the time. So I'm gonna keep trying. You know, and I have heard good things about this one, like weird things. Like as long as it's like a little bit weird, I feel like I'm more inclined to enjoy it because there's something different at play. This is the category of my TBR. I'm going to be talking about books that I really would like to finish because since I'm moving, I really don't want these books that I like have, you know, either half left or less than half just sitting on these shelves because I'm not going to take them with me like a half-read book and I'm not going to leave them here and then they're just like half-read. You know what I mean? I have a problem with putting down books, especially when I'm not exactly enjoying them, but I think I might later. Anyway, Lost and Found. Can I tell you the truth? First of all, let's talk about how much I have left of this book. Is this still the book? I have 60 pages left of this book. This book realistically should not have taken me as long as it has. At least as of what I recall. I haven't read it in a while. I was trying to finish it what feels like literally a year ago, so I don't really remember. But I do remember it, like, the plot finishing around the 200 page mark, and then I said, why is there another 140 pages? So that's what I recall. I am going to try to push myself through that last 60. Maybe it will change my life. Maybe it will change the entire course of this book, and I'm really hoping it does. I feel like I'm past the point of a DNF here because I have put a lot of time into her. This is about a guy from New York who finds a woman from London's diary and he starts reading it for like a hot sec. It's basically Attachments by Rainbow Rowell, but like much longer. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then we have The Waves. Okay, can I just say, I think I was gifted this book. Or did I buy this? I either bought this one or I bought Mrs. Dalloway, which I still haven't read. But this one got my Montclair bookmark halfway through it. I picked this up because I do love Virginia Woolf. I really do. There's very few like classic lit authors or writers that I enjoy, and Virginia Woolf was one of them. And this book also like has inspired a lot of my favorite like contemporary authors. So I did pick it up, obviously. It's very confusing, and I think parts of that have to do with the writing style of this book. I think it's interesting because it's following like 6 kids and each of them has like their own paragraph, but it doesn't really tell you who is talking in the paragraph, and it's just them like talking about their life and reflecting on their life and kind of their interpersonal relationships, and you know, it's all very like heady is what I was gonna say, which is not the right thing. It's all very internal, I guess, or internally driven, mostly internal conflicts, because that's Virginia Woolf in a nutshell. And it's like beautiful, like there's beautiful lines and like they're saying like very important cool things and like they're, you know, children. But it is such a slow read, and that is why I put it down originally. So I really would like to finish this book up, because I not only would love to say that I finished it, but I'm sure that there are lines in here and passages and things that I am missing out on. I really would like to finish this. It also just kind of feels like a good, it feels like Virginia Woolf's kind of like, it's not a summary book, but I feel like it makes the most sense for summer. Do I have any fucking thing to stand on for that? Absolutely not. Then we have my hopeful. We have Black Girl Unlimited. I am dying to read this book. I didn't get to read it this past couple of months, but I really, really would like to read it. It's a memoir slash magic story, and it sounds fucking awesome. Like, I just think that's so cool. Like, my bookmark is in here. I was ready to read it. I think something else came up, unfortunately. I really need it in my life. So we're gonna do it. We have Breaking Down the Duke. This is the first book in like a companion series, and I have some issues with companion series, especially with romances, because you're just like not necessarily always gonna like the romance, like the next romance, and I feel like that's a little bit rude. But this is a, like, it seems like just a more approachable, like, historical romance. I don't read a lot of historical romance. The most I've read is probably, like the Bridgerton books. I've read some of them. I've read some Tessa Dare. But I do feel like maybe it's just the cover, and I'm fully just sold on the marketing, is that this is, like, a more approachable, dip your toes into historical romance kind of book. And I'm excited about that, because, I mean, there's so many out there. So it kind of opens up a world of possibilities if I'm more into them than I am now. So I'm not sure what this is, to be honest, but we'll see. Then I have The Cactus. I bought this recently because, like I said, I'm just really into books. I have been really into contemporary fiction, is what I wanted to say. This cover is also just like really cute. So this is like a brother's best friend kind of thing. Might even be like Hate to Love. I'm feeling like this cactus, like it's just kind of like, it's giving Kiwi by Harry Styles, and it's British, so that just makes me want to read it more. I just like, I love British humor sometimes. It's really refreshing. It sounds interesting. It looks cute. And then last up here, I have a book that seems very sad, so if I'm in the mood for that. I have This Is Where the World Ends. Yeah, I mean, it sounds sad right there. It says Fear No More, which is kind of a scary title. That sounds like this seems very hard to read. Yeah, don't know how to read it. No, this seems like it's going to be a very hard-hitting read. I believe it's about these two best friends. They've been best friends forever, and one of them goes missing. It seems also that it covers topics such as like sexual assault. It's even on the back saying it's like a psychological thriller, which it's not giving that, but I'm sure it has those elements thrown in as well. I got this from my friend Ashley, and she typically picks very good books for me, and yeah, so that's why I'm very excited to read this eventually if I, you know, if I'm in the mood for something like that. So those are some of the books that I'm hoping to clear off the shelves in preparation for my move to Boston. Let me know if you've like gone to college or just moved, like how you handle like your TBRs. They're like, or do you just throw everything in a box, or do you like try to read a bunch of books so you know like you maybe want to unhaul, or what you don't want to take with you? I'd actually really like to know that. That being said, make sure to like and subscribe to all the things, and I will see you in my next video.